Suddenly, everything went dark. I knew something terrible was happening to me. If I was alive, I didn't know. If I was dead, I didn't know. And into the total obscurity, a voice came through. Albie, this is Ivo Garrido. You're in the Maputo Central Hospital. Your arm is in a lamentable condition. You have to face the future with courage. And into the darkness I said, what happened? And a woman's voice answered, it was a car bomb. I fainted, but into a joyous delirium. Every day, every night, freedom fighters are waiting. Will they come for me today? Will they come for me tonight? If they come for me, will I be brave? Will I get through? And they'd come for me and they'd try to kill me, and I'd survived. I felt fantastic. Some time passed, and I'm feeling light and joyous. I can't see anything. I'm lying flat, and I'm happy. And I tell myself a joke. It's about Jaime Cohn, who, like me, is a Jew. He falls off a bus and he does this. And someone said, Jaime, I didn't know you were Catholic. What do you mean Catholic? Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. And for some reason, I started with testicles. All in order, the word, I've tried all my life to be macho and I failed, but the word went round to the ANC camps, and the first thing Comrade Albie did was reach for his balls. Seemed to be in order, heart, okay, my head, okay, and my arm slides down. I've lost an arm. I've only lost an arm. And I felt joyous and happy again, with a total conviction that as I got better, my country would get better. That was April the 7th, Women's Day in Mozambique. And a few weeks later, I'm in the London hospital. I'm recovering. I'm feeling light. To this day, I feel light and joyous. But at about 4 in the morning, the painkillers have worn off. It's not quite light yet. And I'm feeling very alone, a little bit sore. And I sing to myself, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's not my brother nor my sister, but it's me, oh Lord. And I go through all the family and I console myself, secular me, singing what we used to call this Negro spiritual to keep my spirit up. And then later in the morning, the nurses come in, the tea, and I cheer up again. And one day I get a note. Dear Comrade Albie, we will avenge you. Signed, Bobby Singh. We will avenge you. I know what he means. Do we want to cut off the arms? Do we want to blind in the eye other people? Is that what we're fighting for? Is that the kind of country we're going to inherit? And I say to myself, if we get democracy in South Africa, if we get freedom, that will be my soft vengeance. And roses and lilies will grow out of my arm. And a few weeks later, I get another message to say that they've caught it. Have you heard? They've caught one of the guys who put the bomb in your car in Maputo. And I say to myself, if he's put on trial, and if the evidence is insufficient to prove that he's guilty and he's acquitted, I said, that will be my soft vengeance. Because it's more important to live in a country that has the rule of law than to send one rascal to jail. And when it came eventually to writing the book about that experience, the title just emerged from these reflections, The Soft Vengeance of a Freedom Fighter. And my intuitions were right. 18 months later, I'm back in South Africa. The exiles are returning. Nelson Mandela is released. The ANC is unbanned. We're negotiating. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about democracy. Difficult years. But I was seeing the soft vengeance becoming real as the Constitution began to take shape, and become real. And what an extraordinary soft vengeance that was. How much more powerful, how much more telling, how much more validating of our lives and our dreams and our hopes and the suffering that we'd undergone was it to achieve the very fruits of the things we'd been fighting for, much more powerful than simply punishing those who'd done these terrible things to us. And by us, I mean our nation, the majority of the people, not just one episode, but for decades and for centuries of oppression. And we got a constitution that is now being used throughout the world as a starting off point when people in Burma, now they're going to have a new constitution, they look to South Africa, the land of apartheid, of division, of racism, of alienation, of indignity, is now the land of the people who managed to overcome these terrible divisions and find a constitutional compact to live together. What a marvelous soft vengeance that was. And when it came to ensuring that the values of the Constitution would be followed through into the law, into the judiciary, we set up a constitutional court, a very special court that was there to ensure the things we had fought for so long would live beyond us, that even we would fail, that even we could succumb to the temptations of power and authority and richness and accumulation, and we felt that we needed a constitutional court. And where did we build our court? We chose the site of the old Fort Prison in the center of Johannesburg. We say with a very dubious pride, we South Africans have the only prison in the world where both Gandhi and Mandela were locked up. No one else can make that claim. And that's where we built our court, not as a citadel remote from the people, but a place planted right in the heart of pain, to show that the terrible energy, the negativity of the past, you don't do away with it, you don't abolish it, you don't say it didn't happen. You convert that energy into positivity. And so if you go to our court, you pass the prisons where all the people suffered so much. And if you go to the prison, you'll see our court where all the people have so many hopes today. It's a beautiful building. It's a building based on the African concept of justice under a tree. It's not only beautiful physically, the light pours in, it has the art and the craft of all our people from all over the country, people who don't even know they're artists, and some of our great artists are all participants in this process of ensuring that justice and humanity and human rights somehow flow together in the same building, in the same processes, in the same imagination. And when people say, how can you spend money on art and making a building beautiful when so many people are short of food and don't have homes, then we say to them, do you mean the poor people don't dream? The poor people don't want beauty? The poor people don't want love? Poor people don't want a sense of identity. These things matter just as much to the poor as they do to the middle class and the wealthy who buy their art. In fact, they matter even more because often that's all you've got. It's dreams and songs and hopes. And this was another form of our soft vengeance. And we had this court delivering justice after listening to all sides in the terms of our new constitution in a way that's also now being looked upon by courts in Canada, Australia, in Kenya, in Ethiopia, all over the world. Now South Africa, the land of abysmal alienation between people, becomes the land of hope and possibilities. The soft vengeance of a freedom fighter. The story is almost over, but not quite over. One day I'm sitting at my desk, the phone rings, and I get a message. Justice Sachs, there's a man called Henry who says he has an appointment to see you. Send him through, I say. My heart's going boom, 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 boom. Henry had phoned me to say that he was the person who had organized the putting of the bomb in my car. He's now going to the Truth Commission. Am I willing to meet him? And I said yes. And I go to the security gate, we open the door, And there I see Henry, younger than me, also tall, the thin side, and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. So this is the man who tried to kill me, and I can see in his eyes, so this is the man I tried to kill. We hadn't fought over anything, we hadn't even known each other, over love, passion, a job, but he was on that side and I was on this side, and he tried to kill me. We walked down to my chambers, he was striding like a soldier, and I used my best judge's ambulation to slow him down. And we talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked, and eventually I stood up and I said, Henry, I have to get on with my work. We have to say goodbye now. We stood up, and I said, normally when I say goodbye to somebody, I shake that person's hand. I can't shake your hand. But go to the Truth Commission, tell them what you know, and maybe one day we'll meet, and who knows. And I remember when I walked him back to the security gate, he was shuffling along like somebody in defeat. Closed the door and forgot about him. About 9 months passed, it's the end of year. I go to a party, we work very hard as judges, the music is loud, I'm with my friend, and I want to relax, and I hear a voice that says, Albie, Albie. My God, it's Henry, and he's beaming. And these are filmmaking people who are doing a film about the soldier who went to the Truth Commission. And he comes up to me and he said, and you said one day we will meet, and he said, I went to the Truth Commission and I spoke to Bobby, that same Bobby, and Sue and Farouk, and I told them everything I knew, and I said, Henry, I've only got your face to tell me that what you're saying is the truth. And I put out my hand and I shook his hand. He went away absolutely elated. I almost fainted. But I heard afterwards he went home suddenly and he cried for 2 weeks. And that moved me because he is humanizing himself. I'm humanizing myself. He's not just a figure out there, the enemy, and I'm not just the instrument, the objective of his target for him. I'm Albie, I'm a person, and he's Henry, he's a person. And I felt just that little bit liberated. I didn't say I forgive you. It wasn't a question of forgiveness. It was moving on. It was the spirit of Ubuntu. I am a person because you're a person. I can't separate my humanity from acknowledging your humanity. And acknowledging you enriches me, it doesn't impoverish me. It's such a strong feature in South African life. And I believe that's why we got our new constitution. It wasn't the wonderful Mandela, he is wonderful, and the wise de Klerk, he is wise. Their body chemistry was bad. It was the spirit of Ubuntu amongst millions of ordinary South African people, especially the poor, of interconnection, of mutual support, of responsibility, that we're not islands, that we live together, and each person counts, everybody matters. And I just felt the little bit of Ubuntu connection between Henry and myself is now becoming something real, as a little parable, if you like, of the way our country can move forward. And the story doesn't quite end there. Do any of you know LLL? You all know WWW. LLL is late life love. And I am a victim or beneficiary of LLL. And one result of that is little Oliver, who is just a fantastic joy in my life. And Oliver will climb into bed between his mom, Vanessa, and myself. And I play a game. Long arm is speaking to short arm. Wakey, wakey, wakey. And it's somehow to try and help him to just understand why his daddy looks funny. And somebody's making a film about my life, and we decide we're going to go to Maputo, and we go to the spot where I was blown up. And I want to tell Oliver what happened to his daddy, so that he's hearing it from his daddy. And we sit down on the pavement where my body was flung, and he's cradled in front of me. I can't see his face. And I can tell him, And I'm going to the car, and the car was over there, and I'm opening the door, and boom! And I can tell him about not knowing what's happening, and going to the hospital, and being told my arm is in terrible condition, and the doctor helping me so that I wouldn't feel any pain, that I could get on with my life. And then I want to tell him why, and I can't. I can't tell him why. I don't want to tell him why. I don't want to tell him that black people and white people were fighting each other. I don't want to tell him that his mommy and I wouldn't have been allowed to live together, to love each other. I don't want to drag him back into that whole period. Let him find out it's part of our history, it's real, but not from me, not from his daddy. Let him grow up in the new South Africa. And I think that maybe the time even for soft vengeance has passed. So from hard vengeance to soft vengeance. And maybe we just stop using the word vengeance at all, even in its soft form. I feel like singing, and I'd like you to join me, if you like, in that spirit of Ubuntu. It's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's not my brother nor my sister, but it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's not my brother nor my sister, but it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Thank you.